Well, good morning, everybody. Joining us today on the Insurance 360 podcast. Rob,
What's going on, man?
what's happening?
Finally got some sleep.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And I didn't lose any money, which is also a good thing.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about our excursion, our big event out in Las Vegas, Pinnacle Championship Series 2026 in the books. Nailed it.
Months upon months of planning, and I got to tell you, it just feels good to see everything come to fruition. You know,
it's great when you stick the landing, right? We just nailed it. Good stuff. Let's talk about, first off, I mean, we've done the Championship Series now a couple different times, and if you haven't been there yet, just talking about where we've been so far. So we've been to MetLife Stadium now, which is where the New York Giants / Jets play. I always got to throw the Jets in there. It's both.
Tend to forget about them.
It's both, right? We went to Nissan Stadium, which is being demolished. They have a new stadium in Nashville for the Tennessee Titans, so we did it there.
Which was an awesome venue. I really liked it.
Really cool, but that's gone. But anyway, that was a great event. We also did the Philadelphia Phillies Stadium, which is called Citizens Bank Park.
Yep.
Different field, baseball stadium. We were right there, right off the field, which was very cool. That one was very nice. Last year we went down to Florida.
Yep.
Orlando, Kia Center, which was a little bit chilly. They left the ice down, which was interesting.
Yeah, can't turn the heat up when there's ice underneath the ground, apparently.
That was something that we weren't expecting. Those that were there, you feel what I'm saying, right? It was a little bit chilly.
We didn't know to tell people to bring coats,
yeah,
so we apologize.
Exactly. And then this year, just got back from Allegiant Stadium, which is where the Raiders play in Las Vegas, which... Listen, say what you want about the Raiders. They stink. Sorry, my Vegas crew, if you're a big Raiders fan, you probably know it already. Not good. They're building, I guess. We'll see what happens. Stadium was state of the art.
It was
nice.
Legit. Yeah.
I mean, that was about as good as it gets.
View perspective too. I mean, the view was really cool. That center almost looked like a trophy, right? That they have in the center.
Oh,
it was just like a really cool aspect to it. It's a futuristic style stadium. I mean, you're outside. Everything's just, obviously the Raiders are black and silver, so everything's just jet black. And even the outside was very modern. It almost looks a little out of place when you're in Vegas, like just seeing this really nice brand new stadium. Yeah. It's a good thing they didn't put it next to like Circus or
that was definitely good. But it was interesting though, while you're there on the stadium, and it is a dome.
Yep.
You're in Nevada, Vegas, temperatures can be a little wacky. You need the dome there, but you could hear the planes. It's right sort of next to the airport.
Yep.
So you could hear some of the planes coming in now and again. So that was a little bit atmosphere, I guess it added to it. But no, that was awesome. If you're not following us on social media, follow us on social media. We're going to put tons of video, images out there of the event, the stadium.
Already started,
Super
so
cool.
You can check out some of the cool stuff we got going on, and there'll be plenty more over the next 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, we got so much content there. We're going to talk a little bit about today. I mean, I know the stadium. I feel like that was even a step up, but I feel like year after year, we've just refined the content. I mean, it just keeps getting better. If you're a professional that's in the insurance industry, and obviously we lean a little towards the health side with Medicare, senior market stuff. But if that's your industry, this is a free event.
Yep.
Which has some of the coolest stuff going on that you can attend every single year. So keep an eye out. If you haven't gone already, I mean, it's an awesome event.
Well, I know I said this, during some of my Summit News interviews. Check those out on YouTube as well. Where do we go from here, man?
Yeah.
I mean, we going to have a spaceship? Are we going to be getting Elon to have us?
More to come on that. Yeah, more to come.
We have no idea where to go next. I mean, we just keep one-upping ourselves. And that's when we talk to agents and all the vendors, I mean, all of them are always like, you guys always throw, the best show. How do you do it? You get that the whole time at the show, and you see all that work come to play, and It was amazing.
Yeah. Well, let's start first off with, if you probably don't realize it, we do a night before cocktail reception, which this year was at the Palm Casino and Resort, which I had never been to before.
Same.
But we were in something called the Moon Room, which was sort of a top floor wraparound balcony overlooking the entire skyline of Vegas. But then also the roof opened up so you could see the stars. So we're in this beautiful room. It was a perfect night. I mean, the weather was unbelievable.
Oh, yeah,
it was amazing. It was like 70 degrees. It was perfect, the weather. And then you got the Moon Room going on there. You know, we had a couple hundred, I forget the exact count, a couple hundred agents and vendors. And we were having some cocktails and just getting ready, getting in the mindset of we're going to have a great event the next day. But the cocktail reception was just unbelievable.
Yeah, and you know, it's cool from our perspective because there's a lot of people that I've talked to for, 10, 11 years that I've never met in person. So doing these things, these networking events, these big events, I get to see people that I have like a working relationship with, But I didn't get to see some of that stuff. I felt like I was pulled in so many directions, talking to people. You just feel the excitement in the room. I didn't see any. I didn't get to see even we had a mentalist there, right?
Yeah, I don't want to forget the mentalist, and she was amazing. Again, we'll get some videos out there. Make sure you're following us on social media of the mentalist. But she was saying some stuff like I don't know. Obviously, there's some trick to it. Do I think she's got some kind of special powers? No, but she definitely has got something going on.
I was laughing because Greg, the whole next day, that's all he talked about. He's like, I was holding the card. How did she get it? It definitely. If you know Greg in the office, I was laughing the whole next day.
Exactly. Yeah. So the night before was just unbelievable. Cocktail reception, the Moon Room. Everybody just got together, and this was much more of a networking event. There was no presentations or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everyone got the chance to hang out with each other and talk about, just life, what's going on, personal stuff, take a lot of pictures, mentalist. I mean, it just went off without a hitch. There's food, there's drinks, there's all that other kind of fun stuff going on as well. And then obviously everyone just went downstairs and there was a little gambling going on. We're where we are at the resort.
Got to gamble a little bit.
Got to gamble a little bit, right? You expect to give some donations to Vegas.
Hey, look, I left with all the money I brought. So I was actually kind of shocked.
That's a win.
Yeah, it's a win in my book. I'll take it. I think I was up $8.
Listen, anything
you didn't get my money,
anytime
Vegas.
You don't lose and you gambled and you had fun, you can't beat that, right?
Well, you got Nick Powell in our office teaching all of us how to play craps, which, it feels like it's a complex game, but it's not as complex after you're at the table for a little while. You kind of get the hang of it. But that, to go hand in hand with the networking event, when you're doing things like craps, you're playing with agents, you're playing with vendors. It's fun because it's just another step up, right? We're all talking, we're all kind of getting to know each other even better. And it's a fun time, and I like the networking aspect, too, of things like craps, roulette, same thing, right? You're sitting at a table with people, and you can feel the energy, I mean, Trevor from Physicians Mutual, he's never played craps. He's throwing seven. He's not
like
crapping
us out. It's like, don't throw a seven. And as soon as you say that, boom, seven out the gate. Out the gate. Yeah, so it's, that was an unbelievable time and event and networking and getting together and hanging out. And I think, our industry is growing, but, to have the opportunity to meet all these people in person, that is something a lot of people don't get the chance to do.
Yeah. I think it's important.
Yeah.
I think you can't build a true relationship with people unless you're, what's the old saying, shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you got to have that. And I think we as a society have gone, and look, I'm a tech guy, you know that, but I think we've gotten away from shaking physical hands with people.
Right.
I'm not done with the shaking hand emojis, right? I want to shake hands, look people in the eye, and that's where some of the greatest deals have been made, in person with people. And
I feel like our event is just the right size You go to some of these other industry events, I feel like sometimes they're just so large. It's just, you sort of get lost in it a little bit. Besides the fact you got to pay like $1,000 to go or whatever it is, and you sort of get lost in it. And you have so many tables there that really are people that they're paying to be there, but probably not the most important tables that you want to be visiting, different sponsors and whatnot. So I just love the size of ours. I mean, it's just like you can get around, you meet all the top producers, you're meeting all the most important carriers, you're meeting with all the top vendors, whether it's lead companies or tech platforms that are really the cream of the crop in the industry.
Yeah.
And you get a chance to really, I think, mingle with everybody, and it's a lot more conducive than some of the other events that we go to. We go to a lot of them.
We do go to a lot of them.
And it gives us a lot of perspective on how we do ours.
Yeah. I mean, well, look at our keynote, right? I know we didn't get to that yet. Kyle Sheley crushed it. Once again,
the patron saint of crazy ideas. Yeah, Kyle Sheley.
How do we raise the bar with the keynotes, man? I mean, it's like, you start, and every keynote speaker we've had, I've gotten something out of, like as a person, But
we had Sean Pete.
Sean Pete
was amazing, and then we had Don Yeager was amazing.
Don Yeager was great,
and Kyle this year. Every year it seems like it's just everybody's been great.
Yeah, and just his reference to ideas, I think I saw so many agents come up to him after he spoke, and they were like, oh my God, I've been saying to myself, I have this idea and I want to follow through. And you could tell, even if there's a couple hundred people, even if you inspire 10, that's 10 people that weren't inspired before they saw this guy.
Exactly.
And his story, everything was really good. But, I think he had a lot of great concepts for our agents.
Yeah, I think that's just, he's not an inside industry person.
Yeah.
But for business perspective, all of the agents out there, you're running your own business at the end of the day, and it's just that mindset. And he just, was that quintessential entrepreneurial mindset, and he just blew it out of the water. It was just like that hour he spoke was just like boom, boom, it was done. Yeah. And it was just like tons of good stuff. So we couldn't thank Kyle enough for everything he did and getting things kicked off in the right way. But even backtracking a little more, I mean, Kyle was amazing. But let's start with the national anthem.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Let's not forget about Gabriela. Just kills it.
I get goosebumps. She sings. And
I think people were literally crying.
Yeah. You get it, visibly, we talk about patriotism, right? I mean, it, hits your core when she sings.
Yeah. So Gabriela, those of you that weren't there, actually was in the Dominicans Got Talent. So everybody's probably seen America's Got Talent. So there's different varieties of that around the world. And from these different countries, sometimes they even get to go to America's Got Talent next. So she actually made it to the finals of the Dominicans Got Talent. And she is just next level. You hear her sing, you're just like, That's just a gift. That's just a gift.
My shower singing doesn't even come close to that.
That's not. It wasn't normal, and her rendition of it was just amazing. Again, we'll put that out there on the social media, but she kicked things off right. Then you go from her to Kyle, and Kyle just keeps it rolling. I mean, after he's done, we're just like.
It's like an emotional roller coaster.
The first hour and a half, it was just like a blink of an eye, just went through. Which was just crazy. And we haven't even gotten to the presentations yet. Yeah. I mean, and everybody was, we're at lunch and people are like, this is great. And, and they're visiting with the vendors and there was just so much traffic, so much energy. Again, if you're not there, it's hard to explain just the vibe that was going on. And it was just, everybody was just in their happy place at this point.
Yeah. And I think, a lot of times people get in their heads, right? You go to these events and these are my competitors, right? And I didn't get a sense of that at all throughout the event, right? It was a lot of collaboration and networking and people just absorbing information and knowledge. And I think, this was definitely our best event. hands down. And I think we're going to continue to set the bar for industry.
As you said, I don't know where we're going to next time. Honestly, we just got back and I can't even think about it at this point. I'm just like
still trying to tone down.
I'm decompressing from the last 6 months of putting this other event together, and now you're kind of going through all the social media and the video and kind of putting that all together. But it won't be a couple of months from now that we'll be starting to talk about 2027 championship. So you got to pay attention, because if you weren't there this year, I don't know what you're doing. You better make some plans to get there.
It's free, man.
For next year's.
It's free.
It's free,
Come
and
out.
It's just top of the line. I mean,
we pick venues so that if you do want to spend some time out there, you can. I mean, Vegas is my second home, so I would certainly, if I didn't have enough work to do already, would have probably stayed out of
Vegas. Is one of those places where, we joke about the gambling and stuff, but you don't even have to gamble at all, and you can find stuff to do 24/7. Talk about things like the Sphere. Yeah. Super cool.
Well, you were there, right?
Yeah, it was the first time ever. Went to the Sphere. I've seen Wizard of Oz in my life. I don't couldn't tell you how many times, but seeing it there was just next level. It just feels like it's on top of you in a way.
Yeah, they were saying, didn't it, like, they drop leaves during the tornado?
Gosh.
And
yeah, there's like wind blowing, there's seats shaking during like the tornadoes
so cool.
and twisters and stuff going on. So it's an amazing experience. So I don't know what we're gonna do next year, man. I don't know. I couldn't even speculate right now. But the one thing I do know is it's going to be a legit event again, because it's just what we do every year.
Yeah, and I mean, look, as an industry professional, I think these events, no matter what, you're going to walk away from our event with knowledge or ideas, things that you had no idea before you go. And I think that that's really important to help you grow as a professional, whether you're brand new or you're a seasoned vet, right? I mean, how many people did we have there that have been in the industry longer than I've been alive, which I'll be 40 this year. So people that have been doing this for 30, 40 years, and they still always take away stuff from our events.
Absolutely. That's I get up there at the end and I just say, like, listen, what's the one thing you're going to take away and implement? Because sometimes you get bombarded with ideas, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that, and this sounds great and this sounds great, and then you end up falling back into your normal routine. You're busy. Your business is busy. You've got your normal stuff. If you're in Medicare and you're just doing that and that's your lifeblood, like, you got your blinders on, and maybe you're field sales all the time. But even talking about, we had a presentation with some training and tips on telesales. So maybe it's, hey, I want to expand my footprint a little bit. Maybe I don't want to have to travel. Maybe I'll start doing a little bit in telesales. It's one of the presentations we gave, and we've got a whole scripting on that and best practices on how to do that. And we had a presentation on doing telesales, for example.
Yeah. I mean, look, I know we didn't get to all the speakers yet, but I mean, we talked a lot we had a Medicare roundtable.
Oh, that was spirited.
Spirited. I like that.
I'm going to say spirited.
That's a good word. Which, of course, I missed some of that conversation, mingling, but, which I think we have a roundtable every year, and I think that there's always really great information. Angela Palo, one of our owners, obviously she was the spearhead of that, and I think she does a great job at pulling out the information from all of our top carriers. Who was on it was United, Humana.
United Healthcare, Humana, Aetna, and then HealthSpring. Formerly Cigna.
I was this close to saying Cigna. I
know, I catch myself. And HealthSpring. So you've got top people at the top carriers, and when we say it was spirited, it was a great conversation, but we also opened it up for questions. So questions from the audience. Yep. And a lot of times, you might think, hey, I talk with the local representation of different carriers. This is just sort of another level. These are people that are a little bit higher up in the food chain, if you would, have a little bit of a larger perspective on what's going on in our industry, and really gave the agents a chance to say, hey, this is what I'm seeing. I know it's local, but, give us an idea about what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
Because there is so much turmoil, for example, in the Medicare space right now.
Yeah, and I mean, I get that question 2-3 times a day. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. It's, hey, what's going on with the industry, right? It's like, there's so many things going on at all times. Where are we heading? And, I'm not Nostradamus, right? I don't think any of us are. And if I had a crystal ball.
We should have asked the mentalist.
Yeah, we should have, probably. They would have probably knew. But, unfortunately, in the world we live in, there's no crystal ball to tell us where the industry is going to go. But when we have things like that Medicare Roundtable, it can at least give you an idea of what the heads of a lot of these big companies that we deal with every day, where they think we're heading from an industry perspective.
And you see what their pressures are. Obviously, there's cost restraints. If you're in the Medicare space, for example, that the funding is not looking very good. I mean, it's nowhere near even keeping up with healthcare costs, the rise of healthcare costs, the new funding. So something's got to give, I guess, at the end of the day. Now, they have strategies. They have more than 1 year strategies, and hopefully the funding, will be a little bit better than what has come out in the preliminary indicators. But, we'll see on there. But that was a great conversation. But we also talked about things when we talk about business growing practices. You want to get ahead of the curve because you don't want to just be, hey, something went away. So even in the Medicare space, are you selling Medicare supplements? Are you selling some of these other ancillary? We had our program. We have a program here at Pinnacle. We work with NSSA, National Social Security Administrators, on their Social Security training platform, which also includes an IRMA training platform. So this is just more education, how to make yourself more valuable. Because maybe you're only doing Medicare, but these are some of those other types of trainings that might open up your practice to other things. Maybe it's life insurance, maybe it's annuities, just making you more valuable, not only to your clients that are already your clients many of the times, but it might give you the opportunities to expand into other areas, which is where I think we all need to take a look at.
Yeah. We also did the business planning, which... honestly is something that not just myself, I mean, our support staff, our sales team get asked all the time. Hey, how do I create a succession plan? How do I start an LLC? What does that look like? And I think that was really, really helpful because, I mean, from a question perspective, we get asked that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where when we look at these events and we want to give something a little bit more. You go to a lot of these events and it's sort of like pay to play, I guess you would call it. Like, the sponsor gives a certain sponsorship.
There's a catch somewhere.
And they get their, 2 minutes up on the stage talking about whatever widget they're talking about. And, it might look like there's 50 million things going on, but, we just try and say, hey, what's the value that we can bring that the agents can grow their business, make themselves more valuable, and it's a lot of those questions that we get on a daily basis, like succession planning. How does that work? What's that look like?
Yeah.
There's a process to it, and honestly, it's different carrier to carrier on how that even works, right? If you don't have a corporation, it makes it a lot more challenging to do succession planning. So, when we talk about business planning and, do you have an LLC or an S Corp or, why have one over another? These are the things that we're bringing to the table in the championship event that can help you. That's why you need to be there.
Yeah, and look, we just opened the conversations, right? I think at the end of the day, we are trying to get relevant material that does not have a catch, right? At the end of the business planning, there wasn't a package deal or anything like that, right? It's just, hey, this is what you need to do, and we present you the information so that you could take that home with you. And I think there's a lot of value to that. And look, I'm an agent myself, and I have an LLC, and I learned a lot from that. So I know I said this before, but I think it's important. This isn't just for brand new people, right? It's for just industry professionals. So whether you're selling Medicare, life, annuities, whether you've been doing it for 6 months or 10 years, you will get something from these events.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And last but not least, we'll throw one more acronym at you because you probably have seen the term ICRA coming up more. So Pinnacle has this ICRA program that a lot of people probably aren't aware of. But ICRA, I don't know that you're going to become an expert in the group space, but there is an opportunity, for example, if you're in Medicare, working with somebody who is working in the group space and working with ICRA, and they really can go hand in hand. Not even just Medicare, but even ACA, for example. So if you're working ACA, you're working Medicare, ICRA is something that can be really, really important. So at the end of the day, just remember, the Pinnacle Championship event is one you want to go to. We're going to announce 2027 at some time in the next couple of months. Don't hold me to that, because God knows we got to figure out how to top Allegiant Stadium in Vegas, and it's not going to be an easy lift. We'll figure it out, though.
I'll reach out to Elon. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
we'll get it all taken
maybe
care
it'll be just SpaceX.
Yeah,
we'll go there or something.
Yeah, dude, we'll be in a cockpit. Who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's free. You want to be there, Rob?
Free's the way to be. That's what my mom always told me.
That's the way to do it. And just remember, pro tip, blow on it. They'll think it's coffee. Rob,
always delicious. Sir?
Championship event 2026 in the books.